Hey, what's up, everyone? Wyattxhim here, everyone's favorite YouTuber who stutters and mispronounces. And before I get into this top 10 list, I have my hair in a little bun because my girlfriend Unique got bored and decided I look good in this. So why not? Let's make a video in this hairstyle for the hell of it. But anyway, today's top 10 list is going to be on my personal favorite musical genres. Spoiler alert, yeah, 70% of this is, metal related, but, there are a few subgenres of music that I prefer more than a majority of the metal I listen to. So, yeah, let's just do a top 10 list. This is all my personal opinion, so if you really get upset by this, you have a freaking problem. uh, Not like I need to tell you guys that. But let's get it going. Number 10 is experimental hip hop. This is really low on the list because I've just really got my feet wet with this style of music. But artists like Danny Brown, which Mike Seatown thankfully just really introduced me more to his work. Death grips here and there I really enjoy, but clipping has just been on my freaking stereo non-stop lately. And I think experimental hip hop just works out way better because I think, and I would say a few people are guilty of this. The problem with a majority of hip hop that we're exposed to is just very simplistic, and we just think it's just that. The very cliche lyrics, very cliche beats, and whatnot. And experimental hip hop, it's just like opening up a whole nother world, alright? It's impossible to really put into words what you can do with experimental hip hop, but there's some stuff out there that's just insane. And yeah, I mean, I've only got my feet wet with it, so it's only number 10 on this list. Number 9 on this list is ambient and dark ambient music. I kind of want to just tie them together. And again, it's another genre where I've just recently started getting more into as of lately. One project I really enjoy is Alluvium. His latest album, honestly, could be in my top non-metal albums of the year. That album is incredible, combining both neoclassical and ambient keyboards with very minimalistic changes that really leaves a massive impression on you, and you will just get lost and mesmerized, entranced in his latest project by Alluvium. And with dark ambient, I mean, there's Enemit, which I want that album so freaking bad. I really do. That album is incredible. It's just so melancholic and just so bone chilling, and I just have such discomfort with it, and it's quite an experience of a release and a listen. But another one too I really enjoy, Boards of Canada, apparently is also considered. I know it's like electronic, this and that, but Boards of Canada is another band I've been meaning to get some stuff by, and their stuff goes for pretty cheap online. But yeah, those are a few of the projects that I really enjoyed from the genre of ambient or dark ambient music. So they're kind of like tied at number 9. Number 8 is atmospheric black metal. I know before I would, probably a year and a half ago, I would say this is my favorite. And I'll admit, if you want to get into black metal, this is kind of like the easiest subgenre of black metal to get into because it's not full force. A majority of atmospheric black metal bands will take, some acoustic parts, get it folky, kind of get it very tender and sweet, and make it really easy to get into. But the problem I have with atmospheric black metal, which is why it's kind of dipped down so much, is that they kind of come a dime a dozen. There's a lot out there, and a lot of them just kind of copy and paste and have the same ideas. But yeah, there are some that I can't get enough of. Summoning alone will always keep them on this list. I know they add some synth here and there and to make everything more epic as what they're considered. But yeah, stuff like Summoning, Kaladin Brood, yeah, mostly like a lot of epic atmospheric black metal really catches my attention because it really has like this grand and just ginormous sound to it that really makes everything more soaring and more epic in this case. So yeah, atmospheric black metal comes in at number 8. Coming in at number 7 is black metal, death metal, black and death, war metal, whatever you want to call it, because it's the best of both worlds to a lot of extreme metal fans. You have black metal and death metal collide into one another to just make this hellfire, pummeling sound that there are just probably thousands of bands out there that have this, that combine these two genres, and a majority of them do it very well. I mean, you got a few here and there that just are all blast beats and very simplistic and very one-sided, but then there are some that really stand out from the rest of the bunch. Stuff like Archgo, Revenge, Tetragrammaticide, Knockablitz, Demir, even though they only made one release. And I could be here for another half an hour just, getting more into this. But Black Death is always just like, the adrenaline rush type of genre that a lot of people really enjoy nowadays, because it's just pummeling and always heavy, and you know what you should expect from bands that are called black death metal. So that comes in at number 7. Coming in at number 6 is just straight up chaotic grindcore. Grindcore to me is just the really just hectic sound, chaotic sound that's just frantic and is just insane. Every single one is. And it's really hard for me to find one that I can really get attached to, but once I find a grindcore band that I get attached to, I can't get enough of it, because it's just very fast. Sure, the tracks are really short. Your average grindcore track ranges from a minute to 2 minutes at most. And it's just chaos that's just really fun to listen to. And it has a lot of replay value to them just because of how short the albums and tracks come off to some grindcore bands. Stuff like Unholy Grave, I think that's what they're called. I just recently got into them a little bit. They're like this noisecore, grindcore band that has so many releases, but it's just always frantic, always chaotic, and always pummeling. Stuff like Pig Destroyer I really enjoy. Stuff like Rotten Sound's another good one. And just dozens more, really, I really enjoy. But yeah, grindcore is always just a really fun genre to dive into more and more as of late. Number 5 is just suit and tie black metal, whether it's raw or just has a more better productions with some of the bigger names. Black metal, just straight up, is always something that I'm always up for. I'm always up for discovering new black metal bands. And it's always either, whether it's like the really noisy ones or the really raw ones, I love the atmosphere. I love the evilness. I love just the chaos and hellfire brimstone that a majority of black metal bands will unleash on the listener. And it's always fun. It's always a pleasure seeing black metal bands live, even though a lot of people would say it's a gimmick with the corpse paint and how they act and whatnot. All that really matters to me is the sound, and if I get my money's worth and I get my time's worth, and black metal bands always seem to do that for me. So it was an easy number 5 spot. Coming in at number 4 is avant-garde experimental metal. It can be avant-garde black metal, avant-garde sludge, avant-garde anything. If it's avant-garde metal, you pretty much got me sold 95% of the times. Sure, there are some that are just so insanely weird and just so insanely abstract that it comes to a point that I don't even know what I'm listening to, and I just kind of doze off. But when avant-garde is done right, or experimental is done right for extreme metal, it always just sounds incredible to me, because it's like, this is where the ideas for this style of music is limitless. Check out Oxford, for example. It's some avant-garde sludge. They have, jazz. They have drone. They have obviously straight up sludge and some free jazz. Like, these guys don't know how to keep it simple and just unleash their free thinking on the listener and on their albums. You have stuff like Portal, obviously I gotta bring them up on this. That's just nightmarish, and it's just so abstract that it gets weird to the point that it kind of frightens you to an extent. You have stuff like OXXO that is just beautiful for avant-garde and experimental doom metal, that it's one of those bands that has their own language created, that you have, again, just like with Sigaros and whatnot, even though it's a post-rock band, you have no idea what they're saying, but you can feel the emotion, you can feel, the picture they're kind of painting with the music that they're creating, and it's just one of a kind. I think every single avant-garde extreme metal act stands out in some way, shape, or form. It's impossible, I feel like, to compare avant-garde bands because they all stick out in one way, shape, or form. Some people would say Aranzi Bazooz and Blue Tas Nords are similar, and they're not whatsoever. The only thing similar about them is that they're considered avant-garde. But that's just me. But avant-garde extreme metal comes in at number 4. Coming in at number 3 is my all-time favorite non-metal genre, and I'm loving this more and more. I've been a fan of it for a while now, but post-rock. Post-rock to me is always soothing. Every single post-rock band is incredible. Every single post-rock band has just this very melodramatic, beautiful, vibrant, soothing atmosphere to them. I mean, some of them are sometimes upbeat. Some tracks by Sigur Rós that I've kind of brought up quite a lot as of lately has that. There's God is an Astronaut, which is easily my favorite of the bunch. There's stuff that's just absolutely masterful and absolutely just very different and very left field sided that still is very easy to grasp. Stuff like Explosions in the Sky, Godspeed You Black Emperor. Sometimes Swans from time to time can be considered post-rock, even though they're like more noisy rock than anything. But post-rock, it's a huge genre that's ever so growing, and so many bands stick out in some way, shape, or form, and it was an easy pick at number 3. Coming in at number 2, this is when I become a weirdo. Number 2 is noise black metal, because this is just raw black metal to me on steroids. The distortion's thicker, the chaos is bigger, the evilness and the wickedness is just more of everything, I feel like. And sure, there are some that just go so blatantly over the top that it just becomes noise. But when it's actually noise black metal, where half is noise, half is black metal, that's perfect to me. Because, like I said, it's raw black metal on steroids. Stuff like Tetragrammaton, which, dear fucking lord, that's intense. Then there's stuff like Gnaw Their Tongues. There's stuff like KFR, which starts really getting under my skin, makes me start to get paranoid, and dozens more as well. It's hard to, I mean, there are some that just have like this massive discography that's just insane. There are a few, but the ones that are just starting out really seem to be doing very well. Another one is Noka Clan. That one I really enjoy. I can't wait to see what they'll do with a full length, but their demos are absolutely everything I look for in noise black metal. But yeah, number 2, noise black metal. And number 1, if you're a friend of me on Facebook, it's pretty obvious, because I think these two genres just go together too perfectly, and it's black and grindcore. I've yet to discover one black and grindcore band that I have disliked. Every single one just hits me on the right note, and it's the chaotic, intense, frantic sound of grindcore mixed together with the blasphemous, evil distortion of black metal. These two just go together too perfectly, and I feel weird that I'm the only one who says this. I feel like more people should definitely get into it more, and I don't know, just every single band I've heard has just hit me on the right note. Like I said, stuff like The Secret, stuff like obviously Another Throck and Fuck Pig, Reek of the Unzen Gas Fumes, Neltroad, obviously I love those guys. Even though they combined a little bit more noise and power violence, it's still considered black rind. And who else? I feel like I'm forgetting one that I really enjoy. Pink Mass, yes, Pink Mass is another great one as well. But yeah, black rind, it's just a combination that I just always works for me, and I can't get sick of this genre. I really can't. And easy number 1. Easy number 1. But yeah, it's my top 10 list of my top 10 favorite musical genres. Really curious to know yours, and we'll reply back as soon as I can. So yeah, hopefully you discovered something new. Thanks for watching, liking, supporting, and subscribing. You guys are the best, and good listens.